Alright, come on. Oh, we got it. Ah, yes! Yes, we're getting to this. A triangular, luxuriously designed table was lit by a faint light. Until your eyes adjusted to the dark, you wouldn't be able to see anything. Then, a white hand suddenly stretched into that dark. That whole hand was holding a small bag with gold embroidery. Mysterious voice. Open it. As you wish. In that case. Dun dun dun! The contents of the bag were laid out on the table. It was 3 coins. 2 of them were gold. 1 silver. Always keep your eyes open. After all, you people will never know when that day, that time, will come. Racing. I'm pretty sure that name came up in Higurashi-go. I think it did. I'm pretty sure that was the name. There it is. Bundarenko's famous Osotogiri. The AOU Russian army really has been focusing on its judo. Japan removed it from its army's training routine just last year, but I'll bet this stirs up another fiery debate in this country. We've just received some new information. In the Striker class group tank competition, 2nd Lieutenant Alberto Garcia of the LATO Argentinian military has successfully achieved the first hat trick of this year's festival. The LATO military... Should I just call it LATO? The LATO military certainly has taken a gamble this year, entering only people under 20 into the group tank competition, but it looks like it's paying off. I think it's safe to say that youth speaks louder than experience these days. I suppose whether it's blazing a trail to a new era or maintaining the peace, Billy Bob Jr., Quali Booby Dooby Shooby, I was gonna try a joke with the names, I couldn't think of one fast enough, but I guess no one is more qualified than the young. Still, I'd like to see our more experienced soldiers give it their all, too. The International Battle Standard Festival of Peace was a competition featuring soldiers from across the world. Of course, this competition included more than just sports. Yes, perfect! What's beautiful, beautifully perfect flying. The ABN British Air Force refuses to surrender their place as masters of the art of the skies, and their 2nd Lieutenant George White truly is a genius even at the age of 18. He certainly has the skill, but his plane is incredible too. In every part of those blueprints, you can feel the spirit of their designers devote to the art of the sky. Now let's switch over to the maritime competition. At the warship triathlon Dreadnought Class 30 Gun Division, the heavy bombardment ship Gloria de Lobito from the ACR Angolan Navy has passed the qualifying round with a festival record. Last year, the ACR Combined Navy made an incredible showing. However, we can't forget the COU Chinese Navy's new ship, the Tianjin, which won last year's Central Ocean Cup. Most events included not just soldiers, but their weaponry as well. The way they determined winners and losers was an open, refreshing thing designed to foster a noble soldiership among troops who protected world peace together. Of course, it was still a competition, though they fought against members of the opposing factions as if they were enemies. However, when both sides learned from each other and interacted, they grew to respect one another. Every national military from every faction deepened their relationships during the International Battle Standard Festival of Peace. To those who supported the walls of peace from both sides, the friendship this inspired were the best way to prevent war. the same time, this put the military techniques from countries all over the world on display, making it possible for all national militaries to share in new technologies. That would prevent future breakthroughs in military tech from causing a breach in the military balance, thus supporting the walls of peace. Instead of avoiding military might, the world could acknowledge its function and maintain a healthy balance, making world peace a reality. That was why the International Battle Standard Festival of Peace existed. Or at least, that was what the event planning committee liked to say. To be perfectly honest, all nations wanted to look good in the eyes of their citizens, so they tried to get good results, earning medals left and right. As war never broke out, the report card for militaries became the number of medals they won at the festival. In other words, though the young were supposedly the main participants in this event, the expectations of the old affected it significantly. So, though soldiership was supposed to be something noble, there was always talk of bribery and doping behind the scenes. I am suddenly realizing this is accidentally a lot more. This part at least was accidentally pretty topical, but with Olympics being right now and all. Oops. Well, that sort of thing happens in every era. You are a lot more right than you know. There's no point harping on it. Those young people who carried the prestige of their nations were spurred on mercilessly. Only those who succeeded were praised, and those who didn't measure up were abandoned. This happens in all eras. There's no point harping on that either. It's always the young who are made to compete, and the adults only reward success. The young don't want the adults to abandon them, so they always press forward. You fool! Didn't I tell you not to let your eyes off Lilja and Koshka, not for even a second? I'm so sorry, instructor! Why are you causing a ruckus right before a match, a time when you must be at your absolute peak condition? You knew they would run wild right away, didn't you? But instead, you start going crazy with them! You fool! You imbecile! You nincompoop! I'm so sorry! I'm so sorry! Come on, if we just have a few sweets, our physical condition will be back to normal in no time, y'all! The most efficient way for Gauntlet Knights to restore their stamina was sugar. In other words, dessert. Ilja and Koshka, who had returned from the athlete's cafeteria with extra-large parfaits in both hands, didn't give a damn that Chloe was getting trouble because of them. They were happily gulping down their parfaits. If anything, this is all because I was kept waiting so long for my turn it got boring. Yeah, meow. Okay, it's totally your job to make sure we don't get bored, meow. You little rats! Okonogi stomped his feet, but because of his position in other adult regions, he Okonogi stamped his feet, but because of his position and other adult reasons, he couldn't hit Lilja or Koshka. So he karate chopped Chloe twice on the head. These kids would be up very soon. Just when you wanted them to be in their best conditions for the sake of their nations and their faction, they had started up a battle royale in a simulator just because they were bored. Do you realize how many people worked hard and how much money was spent to get you fools into peak condition? And now you're wasting all that just so you can go play with your friends? I'm bored! Going that crazy, it's amazing they managed to recover so quickly. That's youth for you. Give a kid some chocolate and they'll be perfectly fine. By the way, this chocolate's delicious. What country is it from? Gauntlet Knight's fatigue manifests itself in the brain. It's self-diagnosed. You've managed to recover up to 89%, meow. Don't forget that you've got at least 10% of your fatigue remaining. You don't understand. In this world, There's some kinds of power that you've got to work for, even if it wears you out. Next time, go build that power on your own. Have some respect for my time. You say that, but your brainwave data after our match was as good as it gets. Want me to compare it to your historical graphs and send it to you? The data says you're sulking and wagging your tail at the same time. Shut up. I'm not gonna fight you again. Don't staple a picture of me to the wall and do it on your own next time. You're hilarious, Meow. The condition of your blood says you're still somewhat fatigued, but I must admit that your unquantifiable mental condition has improved. The young can be so interesting. I'm pretty sure you qualify as young too. Oh, right. How silly of me. I'll bet Gunhill's mental age has the 1s and 10s digits flipped. There's no helping it. You'll never find a parallel processor who isn't weird. Still, the skill you get as a result is honestly amazing. Well, I know I wouldn't trust our butts to anyone but old Granny Gunhild. Gauntlet Knights were typically deployed in 3-person teams. And in the Meow, Jaden, Gunhild team, Meow and Jaden were only able to focus on their offensive role in the front lines because they had Gunhild supporting them from behind. However, she wasn't just a supporter. She was in that role because that's what she was best at, but she was also talented enough to riddle any attacker with holes if they broke through. On the contrary, perhaps because she always observed her opponents calmly as a supporter, she actually won most of the time in one-on-one matches against Meow and Jaden. She humbly claimed that she only won because she'd memorized Meow's and Jaden's patterns and that she'd be totally useless in a real fight. However, Meow and Jaden knew they could trust their backs to her. By the way, Meow was an ace of the AOU Japanese military. Jaden had come from an ace unit in the AOU American military. And of course, Gunhild was an ace too of the AOU Swedish military. These were 3 of the best aces the AOU had. Groups of 3 people supporting each other's lives like this were sometimes called kette. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, in imitation of the Air Force, or squads in imitation of the Army. Meow, Jaden, and Gunhild. They were the 17th Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad Warcat of the AOU, Combined Military Central HQ. It was one of the best Gauntlet Knight Kett in the AOU, Arctic Ocean Union. Yeah, they really waited to actually say what that was. I'm pretty sure this is the first time. As Meow's group would put it, they were the honor student. Actually, I'm gonna Google, because I want to feel like a dumbass. I'm gonna Google how to pronounce that. Over there was the problem child. Alright, Google.
Kette.
Kette. Kett. Kett. I guess that was kind of right, I don't know. Kett. Oh yeah, I skipped the line, didn't I? Over there was the problem child Kett. Alright, is this? There's nothing here still. Okay, well I guess we're getting introduced to people, so it'll update now. Lilja, Koshka, and Chloe. The 100th Aerial Augmented Infantry Experimental Squad Grave Mole of the AOU Combined Military Giroy, Level 4 Heavy Military Research Center. Koshka was attached to the AOU Russian military, but wasn't a soldier, strictly speaking. Had been kept quiet for privacy reasons, but rumor had it that she had been given some kind of exemption in exchange for participating in some aerial augmented infantry-related research and human experimentation. Apparently, she was officially equipment in the care of a Level 4 heavy-class military research center, which had been loaned out to the military for the International Battle Standard Festival of Peace. Of course, though she was equipment, she was also the highest tier equipment that existed. And she understood her position, so she could do whatever she wanted. She had no desire to listen to her superior officers, and even Okonogi, her instructor, couldn't lay a finger on her no matter how much she pissed him off. This might make it sound like she's utterly self-centered and uncooperative, but apparently she's improved a lot from how she used to be. What, is there something on my face?
Like, it's the opposite, meow. You're blocking my way with that big face of yours, meow.
Well then, I'll just out-jerk your eyeballs so you don't have to look at it anymore.
Huh? What's that? Could you talk a bit slower? Your hick words are so bad, I can't translate them all, meow.
Lilja was attached to the AOU Finnish military, but she was officially a military research center's equipment just like Koshka. Once again, details about her were unknown for privacy reasons, but well, she was just as much of a problem child as Koshka was. Apparently, just like Koshka, she'd stir up all kinds of outrageous trouble using her special position as a shield. Was she on good terms with Koshka or not? She was always approaching Koshka one-sidedly, teasing her and picking fights. She was also high-grade equipment. Problem child number 2, who always got along with Koshka only when they were ignoring their superior officers. Stop it! Don't make your blood condition any worse! The instructor's karate chops really will make my head cave in! Let's find out if her head can actually do that.
Nice one, Kushta! Let's go wild in the simulator again, meow.
And Chloe will get in trouble again, meow. Oh, I hate this cat so much. Chloe alone wasn't equipment. She was a soldier of the AOU Canadian military. Just what sort of unlucky star was she born under? Right after she won through all sorts of aptitude tests and exams and thought she had become the Gauntlet Knight of her dreams, she'd been saddled with looking after this crazy equipment. And partly because of this, the instructor who couldn't punch the high-grade equipment would instead smack Chloe's head whenever they did anything weird. Chloe was a sad sufferer, always stuck between her instructor and the selfish equipment. But of course, she wasn't just there to take care of those two. She definitely was one of the top-ranked Gauntlet Knights throughout the entire AOU combined military. After all, when the selfish equipment went back to the research center for maintenance, she got extremely high grades doing mock battles by herself. These two squads, with a total of 6 people, were the athletes sent by the AOU, the Arctic Ocean Union, to participate in the Aerial Augmented Infantry Division of this year's International Battle Standards Festival of Peace. Real quick, I want to take a minute to, explain, I don't know if explain is the right word, but just, interject about Ciconia, especially since I've been doing Higurashi recently. I wanted to, I don't remember if Umineko was like this. I do recognize that this is very, the interactions are not as heavy right now. It's not as bad later, but, at least when it was announced, the plan for Ciconia was that instead of 8 entries, there were only going to be 4, with each 4 essentially being the length and serving the purpose of 2 of the normal 8 story long When They Cry. So, to put it in, I guess, Higurashi terms, this essentially is trying to cover not only the how Onikakshi was the introduction to Hinamizawa and the cast and everything and the premise, it also is covering the Watanagashi aspect of the story, which gave you the history, it gave you lore, it gave you backstory. So this is basically like, I want to say it is the obligatory info dump chapter, though it is kind of that. I mean, the phase 2 still isn't out yet. It got delayed because of the pandemic and then because of Higurashi Go and Sotsu. But we won't know. I mean, we just flat out won't know for sure until phase 2 comes out. But just in case anyone's like Jesus Christ, nothing is happening. It is also, the other thing is, instead of the past, this is set like 200 years in a fictional future after like I don't know, what was it, like 2 apocalypses or something? So, you know, it does, there's a way more info dumping to do than you've had in both, like, Higurashi and Uminato combined. Yeah, so I just wanted to get that out there, because we will get to, it does get to the, I don't know what you call it. This is absolutely deserving of being a when they cry, even if it may not seem like it now, at this point. Like, this is, you know, my anecdote is, like, I was bawling my fucking eyes out, before the credits were even rolling of this. So, I'm kind of glad, you're not allowed to, quote-unquote, stream past a certain chapter, because I am not fucking touching that with a 10-foot pole. But anyway, I'm gonna just, how do I get out of this here? Anyway, that's all I had to say. I think I said this. Yeah. Individual countries did compete in the festival, but it was the inter-faction competitions that got people most excited. Nothing was more thrilling than watching neighboring nations work together to achieve victory in the battle between the 5 great factions that represented the A3W world. Broadcast booth, are you getting video? Here we are in the Verdi Arena. Finally, the young members of the aerial augmented infantry from all factions are entering the stadium. Alright, it's time for our, speaking of info dumps, we're gonna introduce, like, I think everyone that was in that opening video earlier. Aerial augmented infantry. That was their official title. They are more commonly known as Gauntlet Knights. These miraculous soldiers of the new era wore gauntlets on their left arms, and they could fly on their own through the sky, repel all sorts of attacks, and wield any kind of weapon. At this year's festival, the Aerial Augmented Infantry Division had finally been established, and their true worth had been revealed to the world at large. However, their fights were too dangerous to be held in real space. As was the case for other events emulating real warfare, live fire competitions carry some risks no matter how many safety measures you take. However, if you use mock weapons for the sake of safety, the battle becomes completely uninteresting. The dangerous competitions generally took place in a virtual location known as the Verti Arena. That said, in a virtual world that had advanced as far as possible, the sensations of sight and sound were in no way inferior to reality. Spectators were able to view it as if it were happening right before their eyes. Though the participating athletes were in a simulator room, it felt as though they were actually in the arena. What kind of people the other factions are sending? I doubt there's gonna be anyone as normal as you and me.
It's not true, Meow. If the world is full of people as crazy as Koshka, it would have been annihilated by now, Meow.
Elja, please stop picking fights with Koshka. If you were wild here, everyone in the world's gonna see it. The instructor's chop will really make my head cave in. My stomach's full and I'm sleepy, so I won't fight back. That yawn was just broadcast publicly. Looks like Chloe really will face the chop when this is over. Oh! The group that just came in. Is that the COU? It is! They're being led by 2nd Lieutenant Yu Linghui from COU China. Hold on, wait. Oh, Lingji, I'm sorry. Lingji? That ace among aces from China. Her official simulator score is the best in the world. Well, that's probably exaggerated. Behind her are Momotake from COU Japan and Aisha. Aisha? I'm not sure. From COU Indonesia. They're the COU's best squad. The COU Combined Military HQ's Imperial Guard Aerial Augmented Infantry. God, that's a fucking mouthful every time. Augmented Infantry Squad, bye-bow. Remember your training, and we cannot lose. Of course. As long as I still draw breath. None shall lay a finger upon our princess. I'll bet you just wanted to say that. That's why you were practicing in the bathroom earlier, right? No way, that definitely, absolutely did not happen. How did you know? You mustn't lose your composure before a battle. Yeah, even the princess got mad at you. The next three are from Sparna, the COU Combined Military Central General Corps 1st Branch 301st Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad. All those COU people look so serious. I'll bet if you told them a joke, they'd just stare at you coldly and ignore you, meow. Let's see if their eyes remain cold once they've been 30 meters. So is there anyone? Talk to our enemies, have to vibe out. Even my teammates. Jeez. How about you chill out a bit and have some fun? Try waving! Hey everybody! If you're looking for Andre from the COU Madagascar, that's me. Come on, you wave too, Rookie. Huh? Hello? I'm Shana from COU Saudi Arabia. Stop, you two, you're embarrassing us. How many times do I have to tell you not to play along with the nonsense of a careless man who bears no responsibility? Even though all I did was wave my hand when he made me. Hang in there, Rookie. Yay! Contestants from the ABN have also arrived. As expected, they're being led by the three members of the ABN Peace Department's Holy 301st Aerial Log. 301st Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad, Valavat Youth. Whoa, get a load of that pipsqueak in the front. Watch your fucking mouth. That'll be Naima from ABN Iraq. What I heard, she's the ABN's top ace. Our pipsqueak is quite the top ace, too. You're talking about me, right? Ow, 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 ow! Hi, everyone! I'm from the ABN. Nice to meet you! Ow, ow, ow! Don't get overwhelmed by the atmosphere. I'm detecting an imbalance in your cranial secretions. Wow, 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 wow. I'm so nervous and excited. My eyes keep spinning and spinning. This is so fun. Take a sedative. It will affect your performance, but we don't want you hyperventilating before the match starts. Wow! Battle Standard Festival is a farce. We've already done our duty just by showing up like this. And now we welcome the oh god. And now we welcome the three members of the ABN Peace Department's 12th Holy Agent Corps. Yeladot Shavit. Hi there, everyone! Yeladot Shavit. Today we'll be showing you the miracle of human harmony, friendship, and love. Look at the staff seating area. Isn't that Nathan from the Belgian Hot Choir? I'll send you the data. Look right next to him. Isn't that Jean from Luxembourg Choir? The Luxembourg Choir? So they really are going out. Oh, yeah! And are these cheers for the representatives of the ACR? That means we have all four participating factions present. In front, we have the June 1st Kings Tour Memorial Squad of the ACR Royal Area Night Corps, followed by the Queen's Cairo Visit Memorial Squad of the ACR Combined Military 1st Aerial Night Corps. The time has finally come to show everyone the glory of the Africa Commonwealth realm. You may prostrate yourselves before me, foolish masses of the earth. There's no need for you to do anything, Princess. Please leave this match in our hands. Good plan. If the Princess screws up and embarrasses us, that'll annihilate our bonuses. If we win and tell everyone it was thanks to the Princess's leadership, our bonuses will be doing just fine. As will our reputations. Gah! If you're gonna talk behind my back, do it where I can't hear you. I mean, don't do it! Look at that crowd! This is so exciting, so tense! Hey, isn't it? Don't you feel the same, Nor? Don't you? Stop smothering me. Back, you puppy. Someone this hyperactive ever join the Aerial Night Corps. Don't you think it's weird, Mariana? I know just how you feel, don't you? I'm feeling tense too. Hey! Don't pet me! I don't want anyone but cool big sis Nor to touch me. Don't touch me, puppy. Your idiocy is contagious. Let's go over there, Mariana. Don't touch me. I hate cold-hearted people. And I love puppies. Let me pet her. Y'all can see what's going on there, right? And the final group entering is the team of referees from the International Peace Mediation Association. There's First Lieutenant Valentine of the LATO Brazilian military and First Lieutenant Mari Carmen of the LATO Mexican military. Personally, I would have preferred to see the LATO military field a team too, but... yeah! Well, the military and the police have been arguing over which group the aerial augmented infiltrees should be attached to. The military won in the end, but sadly they didn't make it in time to apply for the festival. I'm Valentina of the IAPMA military. I'll be reffing this match. And I'm Maricarmen. Do what we say or you'll get showered with red cards, okay? Everyone, can you believe it? These boys and girls are the aerial augmented... oh god, please just say Gauntlet Knights. Aerial augmented infantry troops you've been hearing about, armed with nothing but a single gauntlet. They fly through the air like fighter jets. They're armed to the teeth like warships, and they have invincible shields that can repel any sort of attack. In other words, it's fair to say that right here, right now, the peak of the entire world's military might has been gathered together. Well, it is an unknown weapon whose true power has yet to be revealed. Even including today's event, their real worth hasn't been demonstrated outside of Verdi. They've become part of the festival starting this year. But before that, the debate over whether this is a military event or an e-sport kept going on and on. By equipping the cutting-edge technology called the Gauntlet, certain suitable boys and girls could fly like fighter... you just said that, I'm not repeating it. Naturally, seasoned soldiers weren't going to just believe in something like that. If things like Gauntlet Knights really existed, the whole world's air, sea, and land power would become obsolete. The world's military strength wouldn't be measured by the number of soldiers, but by the number of boys and girls capable of wielding a gauntlet. For that reason, some of the spectators who were former soldiers watched on coldly or sneered at the contestants. Ha ha ha. Ridiculous. Little brats flying around in the sky. Which comic are these superheroes from? Soldiers from all over the world train fiercely to protect world peace. Don't you think it's an insult to all soldiers? Allowing these kids with their esports to participate in the glorious Battle Standard Festival of Peace? This gauntlet tech is suspicious from the start. Just know those researchers are eating through their budget on some on-paper theory. The older they were, the more they glowered. On the other hand, everyone who was still a minor was held transfixed. Just by putting something on your left arm, you could soar freely through the sky with unstoppable power. Any child would be awed by that. And the adults told them to abandon those stupid dreams and study, because it was all fake. There was more than a little prejudice behind the adults' emotions. Who wouldn't want to fly freely in the sky? If the adults had been able to equip these gauntlets, they would surely have latched onto this new tech happily. However, to use a gauntlet, you needed brains capable of performing a Dracid conversion on Spiridium. And most importantly, in order to fly in the sky and use your equipment at will, you needed quite a lot of parallel processing ability. You couldn't display such talent without receiving special training and personal experiences from a very young age. Everyone In other words, everyone over a certain age whose childhood had ended before the necessary technology and training had existed was automatically disqualified from being a gauntlet candidate. The young could fly freely, depending on their training and aptitude, but the adults could never do. Furthermore, the combat capability they had honed after long and arduous training was no match for the dimension container. You could hardly blame them for having an inferiority complex. Those who had achieved their current position after harsh training glared most coldly at all at the kids calling themselves Gauntlet Knights. Damn it. What the hell am I doing? Babysitting e-gamer brats like this? Telling each one of these runts has the same military potential of an aircraft carrier. That's true, this planet's screwed. Okonogi, who was serving as an instructor for the aerial augmented infantry this year, bore an imposing array of medals on his chest. Each one was an honorable award, proving that he had withstood grueling training and given all he could for his nation and international peace. Well, whether it's esports or video games, they bear the same burden we do. That means I've just got to whip them into shape. Ooh, is that contestant Koshka of the AOU? That was quite a yawn! I guess she must feel confident.
You've got 2 emails, Paryo!
Captain Okonogi, the Director General, saw Koshka yawning just now, and he is pissed. Okonogi, is it not your job to see to the health of our contestants? She's actually yawning, isn't she? You stupid equipment. Now I'm getting raked over the coals just because Chloe can't do her job right. Achoo! Your sneezes are always so fun to watch. You okay? My nose is all itchy for some reason, and so is the top of my head. Achoo! The room, dimly lit. However, that darkness covered dignified furnishing, evidenced wealth and status, reminiscent of the kings of Europe's food. Yes, it is! Hi, Bahamut Blue! Hey, Blue! Hi, Baha. How you doing? How you doing? Yes, it is! Thank you very much for coming. How you doing? Thank you! Really, thank you. I appreciate it. Also, that is a really cute emote. I'm having a good one. The start of the stream was a disaster, but other than that, yeah, we're doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing good too. I am. Just reading some storks right now. Where was I? The darkness. Are we? Okay, we still don't have that yet. However, the darkness covered dignified furnishings, which evidenced wealth and status, reminiscent of the kings of Europe's feudal age. The ceiling was high enough to just be swallowed in blackness, as if it were a realm of the gods the humans could never reach. Oh, I gotta do it. And yet, the most distinguishing feature of the room was that it was triangular. So was the solemn table standing at its center. And on all 3 sides sat the kings. They were shrouded by crown and mask, obscuring their identity. Their hands were covered by white cloud, so you couldn't even tell their race or the color of their skin. And their voices were altered by something like a voice changer. However, the fact that their suits were of the finest quality, and believe that even just sitting there in their class, majesty is mistaken. Left little doubt they deserve to be king. They appear to be watching the International Metal Standard Festival of Pieces competition between area allotment and infantry units for the metal displays. So, toodles of murder have finally risen to levels like this. It is deplorable. The masses are like babies. They ignorantly turn whatever they touch into toys. They don't even try to learn what those things are. All the better then. A common man's role. I cannot do that voice right now. Not that now. The common man's role is not to know. It is merely to obey the guidance of the king. Thank you, Jestress. Turn off the broadcast. As you wish. After all, mental displays can be quite tiring for the elderly. Well, even I drew on a mental tablet with my granddaughter when she was young. I've been blessed with a wonderful granddaughter. How gracious of her to play along at the dawdling place of a decrepit mind. Why you all? This girl who at first glance might have been a secretary eased the kings with her harsh words. However, the king succeeded to enjoy the foul tongue of this girl, who must have been even younger than their own granddaughters. She ruled at the top, and her fear by all people rarely get taunted or made fun of. Expositor in their company. This person was known as the court jester, Jestress. Her name clearly referred to a female jester. How stubborn humans are. Indeed. I already forgot what I was doing with him. Even when you try to eradicate the many survive and restore their numbers to the blink of an eye, just like locusts. It would seem merely trying is not enough. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Even if you completely destroy everything, the few human seeds will remain. Noah's Ark failed because they let the craftsmen on too, instead of just keeping it to Noah's family. This time, this truly returned civilization back to square one. Even if we do, I imagine that humans will regain their civilization in just a few centuries. But that is fine. After all, we'll be able to put distance between them and civilization's end. Well now, Jestress. Give us today's report. Is everything going smoothly? I am just fucking between voices left and right here. My god, I'm sorry. Yes, sire. I've received a report from the Grand Master of the 9th Prime Chivalric Order, your faithful servant, who's far more useful than you old farts. They've succeeded in sneaking members of the Order into Ace Gauntlet Knight units into all 4 factions. Oh? So, the Battle Standard Festival children we just saw. The 4 factions sent 6 members each, a total of 24 people. If there's 1 in each group, that means 4 of our pieces have been inserted, yes? Now we just have to wait for you 3 to finally make up your mind. Has there been any trouble guiding public opinion in each country? Of course not. Our talented comrades are hiding in media outlets around the world. Is it the name? Have you still not found their research center?
We still have the fate that the mighty king of ridicule granted us. But so far, nothing has tugged on the line.
What a cheap move. If we could catch them by the tail that easily, it would be silly of us to go to all this effort in the first place.
Don't be like that. You never gamble, you never win. Without hoping for it. After all, fishing requires the patience of a king. If there's any movement, I'll report it at once. Now then, gentlemen, civilization's end. Trying here. We cannot fail again. This time we must. And letting loose that many WMDs across the world wasn't enough. Locusts, after all.
This is our last chance, gentlemen. Our last chance to make use of God's plan and return the fate of humanity to human hands. We absolutely must not fail.
As you wish. All as in the name of guiding humanity down the right path.
In the name of humanity guiding down the guiding humanity down the right path. My beloved Lady Jestress, those people must view the boys and girls of the aerial augmented infantry as the most interesting guinea pigs in existence. If I remain concealed here, they'll sure. Oh. Sorry, I just remembered parts of this that come later. Ignore me. If I remain concealed here, they'll surely try to contact me in some way. If anything happens, I'll report on it immediately. Finally, the match between aerial augmented infantry aces from all factions is about to begin. The first event is an attack on a fictional military base. They'll compete on points in many areas, including the efficiency of their attacks and the time taken. Sir Coach's gonna be serious when the actual match starts, okay? If you don't, I really, really will use my trump card. I like breaking things. There's a plate with so many breakable things in front of me. There's no way I wouldn't dig in. Meow, meow. All squads are in excellent condition. We can do this. I, super genius Jaden, I guarantee it. With us war cats and the freaks of Grave Mole together, we're the ultimate team. Yeah, the six of us are the best comrades and nothing can shake our bonds of trust. Let's do it. All is in the name of guiding humanity down the right path. Also, recall, we literally were just told someone in that six is a bad person, traitor, son of a... Presumably. I actually legit have no memory of where that plot goes. When did this come out? Is that... I read it when it came out and it just... 29, it's almost been 2 years already. Holy shit. One message has been sent to Justice. You're not going to see this one? Our bows are in our hands, our arrows, our hearts. We shall not falter when we shoot. Oath of the 9th Prime Chivalric Order. Ominous.